Assalamu alaikum, good start of the day. Dilpouz and Nafisa, really glad to see you all. In this hall, you can see the students of economics faculty, one of the best and active students of our faculty. There are some teachers, and Dilpouz, Nafisa, now you are hosts. You are welcome. Who will be the first presenter? Who will be the second? And if within your presentation there are some surveys or polls, our students are ready to participate in that polls as well. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you. Dilpouz and Nafisa, you can start.
Thank you very much for a nice presentation. Assalamu alaikum, hurmatli qatnashuvchilar. I will continue in English. If there are any like questions or anything, feel free to ask anytime. You can even write your questions in the chat and also anytime, and we will read them. And yes, I will share my screen now. Okay. So, can you see my screen? It's not this.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, let's start from here. Okay. Okay, so again, good morning. My name is Dilpouza, and today with my colleague and dearest friend Nafisa, we will be talking about climate change and the importance of climate mitigation. We both work for Faculty of Forest and Environment at Eberswalde University for Sustainable Development, which is in Germany. Yeah, so the content, how we go today is we will give you a short introduction about ourselves. Then we will have a survey just to energize and also to have the introduction to the today's event. And then we will talk about climate change. Then I will present the climate change mitigation project, and we will continue with another short quiz, Kahoot, and then Nafisa will talk about major environmental transformations and consequences for Central Asia and sectoral impacts and vulnerabilities. Also climate mitigations and measures for sustainable use of resources. So what can we do there? So a little bit about myself. Why am I here and talking about climate change with you? I come from Uzbekistan. I studied at a pedagogical university in Tashkent after Nizami. I did my master degree in global change management program in Eberswalde, where I work now. And after my master's, I worked in the Zuko Foundation, which is the foundation for nature conservation, and worked on climate adaptation topics. And now with the project in Eberswalde, we focus on climate mitigation measures. So Nafisa, now can I give it over to you?
Yes, thank you, Dilpouza. Can you maybe switch to the next slide? Thanks. Hello, everyone. Salam alaikum. Good day. It's really good to see you all, even so remotely. My name is Nafisa, and well, I'm happy that we are presenting for you today, and I'm also happy to get some of your feedback and questions in the end or throughout the presentation. As Dilpouza said already, you can paste your questions in the chat and we can discuss them during the presentation or after it. So also a little bit about my background. I'm from Tajikistan. I did my studies in Germany and South Korea at the University of Heidelberg, and later at Kogang University and University of Marburg. And so my academic background is mostly in political science and development studies. After I completed my master's, I went to GIZ and I worked on sustainable development goals, the so-called SDGs, and I had a voluntary program at DED, DAD, if you know. It was on international academic cooperation and exchange. It was in Latvia, in Riga. And nowadays, I also work with together with Dilfuza and other colleagues in Eberswalde, and I have also my doctoral dissertation defense at the University of Fribourg in Switzerland, and it's about environmental change and sustainable management of natural resources in the Fergana Valley. So it's my focus, regional focus is on Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. So yeah, here we are, and Dilfuza will continue now, I think. Or we can do it both, right? And for this, you would need your phone or your computer. So you can go to menti.com, manti.com, menti.com. Вы можете, да, занести это в браузер, просто вот название этого сайта, и там выйдет код. So then you have a code, like 7 numbers. And for this, we would need also share screen on Menti, right, Dilfuza? Maybe I can share the screen on Menti so that we have the results already when I will send it to you in the chat as well. You have this.
Should I stop the screen share now and then you can share
Yes,
your
yes, it would be nice.
Mhm.
Okay, I can share the screen for Menti, right?
You can see it.
Great. Now you can see my screen, and you go to menti.com, or you can also scan this QR code, whatever is convenient for you. We have one person working already. So there is one question about your pre-existing knowledge on the topic of climate change, and you just have to vote. If you know already something, or you heard about it but not studied it, or you had a course on climate change, or you are an expert, you know everything about it. So there is a variety of choices, and you can just select whatever you think is relevant for you, and yeah, we will see how it is distributed in this room. And okay, 5 people already. We will wait maybe for like 15, 20, and then it's good. We have more or less the majority in our poll. Okay, how it looks. Most of you won't really follow the knowledge, but we will wait how it goes. Yeah, it's a good way in this big room to be also anonymous when you give your response. So I really like Menti. Also nice with visualization. Yeah, it goes well. Already more than 10 here. Also please ask us if you have any problems with it. We just we can log in and maybe answer your answers if you put your answers in the chat or whatever assistance you need.
Nafisa, in most of the students' screens, I see the presenter hasn't changed slides yet.
Ah, yeah, sure. It means that you answered the first question and you are on the good path. So we will go to the second question quite soon. But if you see it on your screen, it means that you already finished the first question.
Oh, thank you.
Great. There are like 15 of you, and maybe we will wait for a couple more answers and then. Okay, it seems we have 17, already 18, so very well. Remaining people maybe can vote now, and we will just start with evaluating. It seems most of you heard about climate change. It's very good. And yeah, also a lot of you want broader knowledge, and it's really great that we are here for this lecture so that we can build our knowledge together. And some of you haven't heard about it, or just the minority doesn't have any idea about the climate change, but it's still good. We can learn together, and some are real experts, know everything about climate change. We can use your knowledge too, maybe in the discussion part. So it's really great. We have, if you voted already, we have the second question here. And when I go to the next slide, you should see the second question. What do you want to learn from today's lecture? And Zara, you have three categories or three windows where you can put any word. You can say, I want to learn about climate change in Central Asia, let's say. And for example, I wrote it down and it appears here. And you can write down any word or any bullet points that come to your mind. So just feel free. What do you want to learn? It might be one word or a couple of words, just less than 25 symbols. Oh, great, about RLC. Nice. We will cover it too in our presentation. About changing results or causes of climate change. Yeah, really good. And someone wants to learn about climate. So we have also something about climate types in Central Asia and also in Uzbekistan. So about the current climate and also projections or some changes that might occur in the future. Yeah, nice. How you can make climate better or what you can do to change something. Yeah, really good. And best topics to write articles. Yeah, maybe we can also discuss it. In the end, about Tashkent's climate, well, maybe Dilfuza can cover it too, since yeah, she has worked in Uzbekistan, on Uzbekistan in Sakop Foundation too, about factories. Yeah, we can, yeah, maybe we can discuss it too. Yeah, we are waiting for your other ideas about businesses and how it affects health, about the current situations. Yeah, we will do it, of course. And methods, methodology. Maybe it's not that clear about the methods, but maybe, as I can guess, methods to evaluate the changes or the projections for changes, consequences. Yeah, consequences of our actions, maybe. Yeah, and also influence on climate. Main problems in Uzbekistan. Yeah, we will think about it together, and maybe we will not only think about the problems but also about the possible solutions and how it affects the situation in Antarctica, in Antarctica maybe. Yeah, I mean about the global impacts, Dilfuza will cover it partly about the global effects of climate change. We have also regional focus and local focus too. And well, we will talk about possible causes and go a bit into the detail, but not too much. And yeah, take brief information and yeah, information on concrete actions. Yeah, we will do it. So yeah, it looks already quite good, right, Ilfuza? Maybe we can stop it here, and if someone has any additional ideas, we can discuss it then later in the Q&A part. I will go give over to you now.
Thank you. I usually forget to turn on my microphone. Sorry about that. So, okay, I will share my screen now. Um, Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, it's
Okay, great. Thank you so much for participating in the survey. Now we all also have some ideas of expectations, what you would like to learn, and we can also edit or talk about it shortly in today's meeting. And yes, let's talk about climate change. Uh, so what is it, climate change? I think you have heard about it a lot, ıklim özgarışı, and as we saw from the survey that you are also, most of you already know about climate change. So I'm sorry about that, that the lecture will be more like more basic. We will go into details as well, but also to understand what climate change is, we also made it also a bit basic. Um, so I can best explain it in the greenhouse, using greenhouse effects or like a greenhouse picture right here. So you can see this is a greenhouse picture. You probably know it from the gardens, or you have greenhouse, I mean your parents. So what happens here is that we have a house, so it is covered by transparent plastic, yeah, material, and the sun rays can still come in inside this greenhouse. The plants are warm and nice in there, but the heat cannot go out, so it stays inside this greenhouse. That's why certain plants that does not survive outside can grow pretty well inside the greenhouse. So the same thing is happening with the climate, with the Earth. So we have sun and we have our Earth. And when the sun rays come into the Earth, certain some rays are reflected back, so they are sent back to space, so they go away. Um, but the problem is we have certain gases, they're called like greenhouse gases, that keep those heat inside and doesn't let this rays to go out, so the energy cannot go out of the Earth atmosphere. So what happens? The energy is trapped, and we're experiencing climate change because of this. So yeah, what are the greenhouse gases? What are contributing? Uh, what is causing climate change? So the main contributor of the climate change in terms of gases, these are carbon dioxide or CO2 and methane and some other having less contribution, but still. And yeah, and I was asked when I was in forums or some other events in Uzbekistan, some people came to me, not many, but still, like they came and they were like, scientists say it's not humans that causing climate change. It's natural geological happening in the earth. So this is not our fault. And what do you think about it? And it actually is not true. Humans are causing it. The study in 2021 concluded that 99% of the publications agree that this climate change is caused by human. And we can have a look at it together if we don't still agree on that, are we really causing it or not, or like how the contribution of or causes of the climate change. So the main sector that causes climate change is energy sector, energy and heat. So this encompasses many things, including um, energy use in buildings, transportation, so cars, flying or shipments, and also use in industry, energy use in industry. So everything that is produced, so the pen that you're holding, it's produced using energy. So this is the biggest contributor of climate change. And we also have agriculture, forestry, and land use that contributes to climate change, and other sectors contribute less. Um, this is Tashkent. As you may recognize, we do have problems with lots of cars. So is the world. So we have too many cars. This contributes to air pollution. We produce greenhouse gases when we drive cars. Um, and this is a typical picture of uh, waste. So we produce a lot of waste. So nature doesn't have any waste. It's circular. But we humans, we live in a linear way. So we use stuff and we throw away, and this is waste, and it doesn't recycle in the environment. That is a big problem. So you can see here lots of plastic waste, and coming back to air pollution, we have lots of factories, and they are producing CO2 gases or greenhouse gases. We have water pollution. We dump our waste to water, also agriculture. We have, synthetic fertilizers, pesticides. Pesticide is actually a poison, so they're all end up in the water system, and this leads to eutrophication. Eutrophication also leads to climate change, because water is also like trees. It absorbs CO2 and yeah, produces oxygen. So um, this is another example of water pollution, but here it's from the fast fashion. In Western world, it's yeah, there is a trend of buying new clothes because they are super cheap. They even don't wear it and throw it away, or wear it once and throw it away. And this is the consequences of this consumer behavior. Um, and yeah, how does it affect biodiversity? So here you can see a picture of a bird that died from a plastic pollution, because birds can find some remnants of food or something, or they see like colorful things, and they might think, oh, it's a food, and then they end up uh, you know, filled with insides, filled with plastic. Um, and we have uh, waste pollution in oceans or water, and we can see these typical pictures rather often. And here's the picture of the oil spill, which is also very um, product that leads to climate change. So, yeah, we are not in the best condition. The whole world actually is suffering a lot, and um, we have the existential crisis. So, this is another example. What causes climate change? It's deforestation. As you know, trees are very important to keep air clean, to take CO2 or greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, and then give oxygen. But since for the house building or fancy furniture, we keep cutting like Amazon, which is the oxygen of the world, Amazon forest. I mean, it's being cut and it's very endangered. And this, yeah, these are very serious problems. And when you cut the trees like this, you also destroy the ecosystem. So it's hard for the forest to come back its natural state before. Here is a typical example of mining. So it's a coal mining. You can see the massive ecosystem destruction here, and also the coal is one of the main contributors of the fossil fuel that contributes to climate change. Um, yeah, so we talk about climate change a lot, so it's bad and we are causing it. But what are the consequences? So, what will happen, or what is happening actually now in the world because of climate change? So, we have very dry regions. So, we have desertification because the water evaporates, goes away. We have a lot of forest fires. Maybe you remember from that few years ago. In recent years, we have forest fires in Europe, and especially in Australia, there were like huge forest fires. So this is also a consequence of climate change, because the forests are getting drier, and they cannot deal with heat. So it's easier for the fire to start and distribute within the forest. We also have quite a lot of flooding problems, like in Europe, or if we look at the coastal countries, they are predicted to be under the water. There are island states like Tuvalu and others in Pacific Island, and in a couple of decades, these islands will be under the water. So the people who have lived there for many, many years, thousands of years, they will not have anymore their home. Um, yeah, so these are the few examples. There are actually many, many more examples of consequences of climate change. Um, so what about Uzbekistan? If we talk about Uzbekistan, how it is for us. So we have very arid climate. So it's 80 and 85% is desert or semi-desert. We have low precipitation for the whole country. It's around 200 millimeters annually, and we have strong winds, strong dry winds. At the same time, we have environmental problems. So here, what do you think it is? This white, I don't know, white soil. You probably know that it's salt. So we have salinization problems, which is actually caused by unsustainable agricultural practices. So we yeah, agriculture is one of the main sectors in Uzbekistan. Many people make money and live by it. But the farmers, when they wash the land, it actually damages it a lot, because when you put water on the land many times, water contains minerals and salt naturally. And the more you put it, the water evaporates, but the salt and minerals will stay on the top of the soil. So yeah, we these are the few problems from Uzbekistan to mention, and how will climate change, so iqlim o'zgarishi, affect Uzbekistan, or is affecting Uzbekistan. So, unfortunately, we are one of the most vulnerable, so most at the risk to climate change because of the water shortage. Um, 80% of water is coming from outside. So, Sardarya, Amudarya, they don't originate in Uzbekistan. They come from the neighboring countries to us. Um, we will be experiencing more desertification according to IPCC report. There will be wind and water erosion and decreased productivity of arable lands. So from agriculture, we will not be making so much yields. Um, yeah, so now I will move to the mitigation. So what can you do about climate change? So mitigation means how to reduce the emissions, um, or yeah, or how to combat climate change. And now I will talk about a little bit about the project we are doing with TIIAME National Research University, and then Nafisa will go into details of what can we do to combat climate change later. So yes, this
Dilfuza, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Maybe I was thinking maybe we have one question in the chat, and
Mhm,
before you go to your second part, maybe it would be better to answer it now or
mhm.
however you want. Shohrukh Kutliboyev is asking, we heard about Tashkent being number one in the list of cities that has the most air pollution. Do you think it's really true?
Yes, unfortunately, I do think it's very true. So we have air pollution because we have lots of cars, and uh, those cars or vehicles are not very much controlled. So if you come to I live in Berlin, and here, if you have a car, well, they don't sell cars that produces lots of combustion or like bad gases, let's say. The cars are automatically with the cleaning mechanism. I don't understand cars too much, but and if you have like an old car, it's actually not allowed to drive it anymore, or you have to pay a lot of fine. So, so basically, we have problems with cars. So we have to make sure that there is they are not making the air as dirty as they're doing it now. Secondly, we also have, as you may know and experienced sand dust, so chang. So this is um, I grew up in Tashkent and I never experienced sun dust before. It's actually very recent thing. I don't know, like last 6 or a bit longer years, but since I was child, I never had sun dust before. But this is also result of a lot of construction and cutting the trees because trees have the function or like they can settle the air a bit. So the yeah, we are cutting the trees, we are building lots of stuff, and yeah, the cars are also a problem. So yeah, and plus the climatic conditions changing, that it's getting drier and more like very hot. If you ask your grandparents, ask them about snow. So how was it in winter? Because like my father talks about snow that was like many meters, like a couple of meters high. But we don't have it now in Uzbekistan or in the same region, like in the same place that they grew up. So it is really changing a lot. So yes, and from the feedback, oh yeah, first I wanted to ask, is it, could I more or less answer to your question, Shopro?
Well, Shahrukh was online, and maybe
Ah,
if
okay,
you hear us, yeah, he has a message. Everything was perfect, he says, so he's
okay, great.
satisfied with your answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, then we can. I also wanted to say before I talk about this project, because Antarctic, that was also Antarctica, that was also in the feedback of what we want to know more about. Unfortunately, it's melting. So Antarctica is the driest region on Earth, and because it didn't rain for many, I don't know, more than 100 years or even longer, but they are melting. Arctics are getting smaller, as well as Antarctica. The problem is another thing that we cannot predict or know is how it's gonna influence the ocean current. So maybe it will stop this Gulf current, and USA and European part of the Europe will be going into the ice age. So this is also possible. So yeah, there's a lot of unknown in the future what may happen. Um, but it's not like let's talk about maybe the things that we can do, how we can influence, and how we can make the situation less bad. So coming back to it, so I would like to present you very shortly the project that we are doing with TIIAME National Research University, and that's how we know each other. That's how I know Gozalapa, although she was also some years ago in Eberswalde at the university, and that's was actually how we got to know each other. So the project focuses on improving energy efficiency in the building sector through the use of renewable raw materials from agroforestry systems, in short VGERA, and it's supported by German government. And basically, what we are going to do with TIIAME National Research University is we are going to build a model house in the TIIAME National Research University campus. So you will be able to see it, you will be able to go there. And this house will be built from natural and local woods, or local materials, including wood, clay, lime, and straw. And this would create a more, we hope that this will create market for the local trees like terak and other like poplar and other trees. And that in Uzbekistan there will be more people planting trees because they can sell it in the local market. So this is the idea. And the more trees we have, it's combating climate change. And we want to build a house that has better insulation, and this would reduce energy for heating. So you will not need to heat it so much, but you would need less energy, and then the insulation can keep it warm. And we also want to distribute this knowledge through the open sources, like make online learning materials and with TIIAME National Research University, and you will be able to use it. And yeah, so this is the idea of the project, and I want to thank you for your attention. And yeah, then give the I will give the floor to Nafisa. And first, before having another long talk, we would like to make a short, let's say, a game. So you can use your phones again. This would be anonymous, so no one will know your name. But you can team up with someone who's sitting next to you or not. So it depends on you, or you can team up more people. So this is also possible. I will share the, what is it? Mm, okay, I need to share the screen a bit in a different way. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, it's visible. Yes.
Mhm. So what you can do is if you put the QR code, you will be in the game and you have to come up with a nickname for yourself. So you can put any nickname.
Then want to
Uh,
write, you can.
And then you can log into the it's like a quiz game. Okay, we have the first person butterfly. Good. Second person, great. Yeah, we have more people. Yeah, we have more and more people. So there will be like 6, 7 questions about what we talked about in the presentation, and some additional questions, your opinion questions. So there's no like right and wrong. Um, mhm, great, we have more people. We can wait a few more minutes. We have Ratatouille, good. And remember your names and signs.
Oh,
Okay, if we have more or less, good. Um, if everyone is there, we can start slowly. If you're not, then feel free to join. Okay, the Rose is also there. I think she's the brain. Okay, so maybe let's start now. Um, there would be a question, and then you can choose the response for it. And you should choose from your phone. Mhm. Okay, so this was the what is the greenhouse effect? Mhm. So this is, if you remember the greenhouse analogy, this what we talked about. It's when the heat is trapped in the planet and cannot go outside of the planet atmosphere. Mhm. Okay, so maybe from the first one you have seen how to do it, so you choose the, the colors that are maybe fit to you. Okay, so are you ready for the next question? Okay, let's move to the next question. Sorry, that's for the yeah, to show the results. Diorbek, you're leading now. So that's the next question.
Yes,
Mhm. Yeah, we have far more people who gave correct response. Well, construction is also quite a big thing, but in the project, in the presentation, I uh, bind them together. So sorry about that. Um, yeah, and I think the answers were a bit confusing too, because transportation I also put together uh, with the electricity and heat production. So, okay, um, let's see the results now. Okay, we have X that is dominating now. It also depends on how fast you respond to the question. That's why that's how they identify the leading person. So, ready for the next one? Okay. So the Paris Agreement I didn't mention in the presentation, but if you know, it's an opinion question. So I mean, uh, it's okay if you don't know. Okay. yes, some people do know it's to keep global temperatures below 2 degrees uh, and pursue the limit of 1.5 degrees. But probably we're not going to reach that goal, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, let's see how the people are doing. Okay. It's exciting each time a new person. Okay. So ready for the next question? Okay. Okay. So I actually didn't know when I was doing this quiz myself, so who was the leading. So today, China emits most of the, yeah, contributes most with the greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide. It's not surprising they have all the production, like economically. Okay, so let's see who is leading now. Ooh, butterfly is coming out too, but N has the first. Okay, the next question. Okay, actually quite good. Many people got it right. Yeah. Okay, so let's see who's leading here. Butterfly. Good work. Okay, I think we have one more question. Uh, so, ready for the next question? Good. The last one. Oh, wow. Very good. That's a good one. Uh, almost everyone got it right. So let's see the winner. Okay, third place. And the brain. Ooh. Okay. Thank you so much for the participation, for active participation. Um, I think I can close it now. And I stop the recording. Yeah, thanks a lot. I hope you're energized now and then ready for the next part.
Yeah, thank you very much for your active participation. It's yeah, really a great game and also very interesting. Yeah, I hope everything goes well with my presentation as well. I'll just have to share it and do it full screen, and then you will hopefully see my full presentation. you see it now, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Okay, let me know if there are some problems. I hope there are not, but yeah. I will continue it from here. Many thanks, Tilpoza, for your inputs. And I will be talking more about environmental transformations and consequences for Central Asia. And as we talked already about some concrete actions against climate change, we'll hope not to stay too pessimistic and try to think about some solutions or at least some actions that we can take to combat climate change. So Central Asia has been warming faster than the global average in the last couple of decades, and it has been affecting the region and local populations in multiple ways. There are projections of climate change and there are current trends. So the projections are like prognosis or like certain possibilities that can affect the environment and livelihoods of people in the region. So most of the projections indicate that global warming or its effects will be followed by the loss of snow and glaciers and ice sheets on our mountains. So we have mountain ranges like Tian Shan and Pamir mountain ranges, and most of the projections say that we will lose most of the snow covering and glaciers on them. These changes have very important implications in terms of water availability. And as you know, and as Dilfuza also said, water is an important resource for agriculture in Central Asia. So loss of water or water scarcity might affect severe droughts and desertification in our region, which will also affect agriculture, food security, and interconnected problems with water availability for consumption even. But there are also other effects because you know Central Asia is a big region and depending on the climate type, it might have different effects. So in Fergana Valley, we will have to deal with water scarcity, whereas in the northern part of the Central Asia, there will be more uh, or intense precipitation. And intense precipitation means that there'll be more rains and more water flows, and this will also affect some of the mountain ranges with floods and also permafrost melt and other problems. So um, it's very much interconnected when you look at this image even. Because the greenhouse effect has impact not only on droughts but also on increased water level. So depending on climate type, it has different effects. So that's the basic information that you will get from here. And some of the interesting aspects connected to our region is that there are some past dependencies, and it means some of the mistakes that were done in the Soviet era, we still have to live with them because they are the basic, they include the basic infrastructure, let's say, for electricity production or for agriculture. The transformation of water and river basins in our region, so diverting rivers, changing their directions, or building huge cascades of water infrastructure, it all affected our environment. And it was argued during the Soviet time that it was a necessary measure to achieve food security and to produce cotton. But as you know, and I think most of the Uzbekistanis also identify with the problems, the drying up of the Aral Sea and the interconnected problems that come with it, for example, biodiversity loss that it causes. And the consequences for the region are still very much present, and we cannot really ignore them. But still, we need water for agriculture, we need water for energy production, and also for industries, of course. And but many sectors are quite vulnerable, not only energy and water use, but also crop production and livestock. So when with the loss of biodiversity, we will have also impacts on our food security and livestock. For example, we have this project on Fergana Valley, and we investigate water scarcity here. But as most of the aspects are very much interconnected with each other, loss of water scarcity would not only reduce production of crops, agricultural production, but also will affect very different diseases concerning livestock. So if you know what I mean, livestock is domestic animals, cows, sheep, and other animals that most of the farmers have on their fields. So it means climate change will not only affect us humans, but also various animals and other beings on our planet, also in our region. So, as I said, we have been feeling the effects of climate change above the average global temperature. So we have been affected already, but its implication might be even worse also for our health and for our general well-being due to air pollution and pollution of our soil and also through the different diseases that come with the livestock. So I will keep it very brief. So we already had a lot of interactive parts and we got a lot of input. So we don't want to put it very negatively, even though we have to acknowledge that climate change is a very real phenomenon. It is happening right now, and we have to do something against it. So we were brainstorming together with Diffuser to think about some concrete actions. And there is a list or some of the ideas that we collected, but it's not exhaustive. There are very different ways how we can act, what can we do, and on individual level as people. I mean, me as a person, as Nafisa, or you, for example, as Diffuser, or as Kuzalapa, or you as a student, you can do something against climate change. And we can also do something on a collective level, on institutional level, on political level. But as we think, it is not only correct to think about the politics that politicians that have to do something, but also we as people, as citizens, we are also responsible for our actions and for our everyday consumption. So what can we do? And you can also share your own ideas with us, what you think is necessary or possible to do against climate change. It is important, in my opinion, to acknowledge that your voice should be heard by those in power, by politics, by political actors, by international institutions and organizations. What you can do really in your own everyday behavior: cut back on flying or leave your car at home. It means use alternative ways of transportation and think more consciously about your everyday decisions and how does it affect climate. For example, if you have a chance to go to your university using a bicycle, or I don't know, public transportation, or simply walking from home to university or to work, it will already affect the environment. It will positively affect and reduce your carbon footprint and reduce your energy use. For example, if you don't need your lamp in the room when you're sitting, or when you don't need your charger for your computer, you can simply reduce your energy use and also respect green spaces. Difuza was already talking about deforestation and how it affects air pollution and generally this greenhouse gas emissions. So you can do something when you plant trees or if you protect already the existing trees already, for example, in botanical gardens, in the parks, you can think also about some um, uh, also spending money more on green products. If you cannot do big actions, also small actions count. For example, you can cut your consumption. You can think more thoroughly what you really need. For example, with regard to fast fashion, do you really need a lot of clothes, or can it be really efficient consumption, buying really something what is necessary for you? Recycling waste is also quite effective and it's practiced in different European countries, but it shouldn't be only like this. You can do it also by sorting out, let's say, plastic waste or sorting out paper or glass or even batteries in your home. So there are very different ways, and I don't want to take too much of your time. You can think about your own ideas or about your own context, what might be possible for yourself. What do you think might be necessary in your own neighborhood? What can be done on the political level or on institutional level? Cutting greenhouse gas emissions, it is also written down in Paris Agreement in 2015, but still it didn't come to life because most of the countries that produce greenhouse gas emissions, they don't really try to cut them in a short term because they say they can do it until 2050 or a bit later, but it means climate change is not waiting for countries to take these decisions until it's too late. So the actions have to be taken on the political level already right now so that we can live on our planet. It's also important to include very different perspectives and actors. So with stakeholders, we mean different actors, like also universities, students, or academics, farmers, engineers, everyone who can contribute to combating climate change. Spread information about climate justice in your academic curriculum. Let's say, or talk about with your friends, with your family. You can do it too, or at university level. You can also, as you are doing right now, it's very good that we are all here in this room discussing this problem, and we can do much more. For this, we can gather and we can collect some ideas how to do it on institutional level and reducing some inefficiencies and waste, even at universities, and protecting it on your campus might be also very beneficiary. So these are mostly the ideas that we collected together with Ilfuza in a couple of days. And what we do in our project, we also try to involve very different actors, stakeholders, to use participatory methodology to include their perspectives on the problems and possible solutions. So this includes also very different discussions and opinions of people working on the fields, people working with water or land or with negative consequences of environmental change. So every one of you might be an expert in this because you live on this planet, because you use resources, and because you have your own perspectives how to do things better. So everyone, every student is already an expert if you want to do something against climate change and you have your own ideas to contributing for this global action. So this is mostly what I wanted to do and what wanted to present. It's very brief. I hope it was not too quick. So Kata Rahmat for your attention. And we will be also very grateful if you have time for brief feedback. But we, um, yeah, now it's like more than 1 hour of your time that we are here with you. So if it's taking too long, you can do the feedback later, but of course we'll be very grateful if you can do it now. It's still the same logic as we had before. I will just share it with you, and if you have time, it's the same menti.com and the same number, or you can also, I will share it again in the chat, menti.com, and the code is the seven numbers that we had initially. Difusa, can you also put it in the chat? I will just try to do it, but I'm not sure. So this is menti.com. There are 7 numbers for the code to give your feedback to us. And yeah, we can look how many people are there. There is still no one. Okay, 1 person already joined. Very well. Yeah, you can, there are like 4 different categories and you can rate them from 1 to 10. How did you find it? Interactivity, clarity of the content, time management, and also visuals. What can we improve for the next time, let's say? What do you think is good? 10 is very good, 0 or 1 is very bad, and something in the middle. So already 8 people voted 10. Yeah. Yeah, it's moving now. This is spider net. Clarity, interactivity, time management, and visuals. So well, it's moving. 15 of you voted already. We will maybe wait for a couple more responses. Great. 16 already. Maybe if someone joins, but I can start already with evaluating. So the best result is for visuals, design of slides. So we are happy that you like it. And also with the clarity of the content, we hope so, but we will try to improve it, of course. We were thinking to make it very basic and simple, but still it might be that there was some pieces of information that were a bit more complex than needed. We will work on this. Yeah, what comes next? Time management. We were not too bad with this. We were allotted well, within the allotted time frame. We hope so. 1.5 hours, said Dilfuza to me. So yeah, we are almost on time. We have 10 minutes. And interactivity, we can work a bit on this. It seems to be the least positive, yeah, category here. We will do it more interactively, but yeah, considering that it was a hybrid event, we were trying to include you as auditorium into this presentation, your opinions, but yeah, 17 of you voted, and we are very grateful for this. There is also a chance to put your questions. You can ask questions here, like anonymously, or you can come to us to this computer and talk whatever you like. And we had also some questions in the chat, or Dilfuza, do you have an
Yes.
overview?
There was a question. I will read it out now. Just a second. Um, um, yes. Have you heard any interesting ideas that could prevent some of those pollutions? Interesting, unusual. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mean then on institutional or on individual level? Well, something unusual what I heard. Um, well, for me, it was really so eye-opening because I haven't thought about it that much. Uh, I heard that vegan people or vegetarian or people living vegetarian lifestyles that they help to reduce carbon emissions or they live more sustainable in a more sustainable way because when you produce too much meat, it means farmers need more land for this and also more resources, and it means that also with the mass production of meats, you produce very much negative emissions. So someone is talking, it seems.
Yeah, I think now it's better.
Yeah, it seems to be better, even though someone is talking. So if you have question, maybe you can ask it or put it in the chat.
I can also maybe respond to that question. To the same question, if it's okay. Okay, so
Okay. Uh-huh.
for the measures, like what can we do, unusual measures, actually, to talk about climate change, 1 hour or 1.5 hours is very, very little. There are so many things actually you can do on individual, on also like yeah, on more in a group or state level. So I think as a group of students, you also have you could do some things like organize a group that is for sustainability or like environmental group, and it can be that you organize different activities, like go to like some channel or like canal, like water, and then clean it up a bit because we have problems with pollution, or like yeah, there are many global and also local actions that you can do. So yeah, like when we talk about Uzbekistan in general, we have unsustainable is it Shlokhojalik? No, this is not done sustainably, so this is a bigger problem, and we have to make it sustainable, like use drip irrigation, like use the sustainable like water in a sustainable way, because we lose a lot of water when we use it that way. And yeah, so it's more like a state level, and yeah, also our old otobabalarımız aytgandi, planting trees. That's the best way, actually. And many like governments or globally, it's not done because they want to make money, not really care about money, care about environment. But that's the easiest and actually the best way is planting trees. We also like in Uzbekistan, coming back to the country level, cotton production is not good. We have to get away from it because cotton uses a lot of water. It also uses defoliant. This is poison to kill growth of the cotton. So there are many problems like that indeed. And yeah, we have to work on it. And yeah, and I think there are more questions, and I also wanted to respond regarding the economics. So there was in the beginning when we did survey, there was a question of what kind of economics can we do and like maybe more sustainable economics. There are actually some ways that are not very well used yet. It's called circular economy or donut economy. And these are also, maybe I put it in the group chat so that you can go and then use the, yeah, check it out and then learn from it. So, just a second. Um, Okay, something is happening. Anyways, I will try to put it in a group chat in a proper way. Yeah, do we have any other questions? This is the best way.
Yes, there was the question in, well, in Menti, how can we solve the problem of RLC? And yes, there was the second question about electric cars, and but it was more like an argument. Most people think that electric cars are more eco.
Mhm.
So yeah, maybe you can respond and I can add something.
Yes, so the question, most people think that electric cars are more eco-friendly, but asset used in this power batteries, battery utilizations also affect environment. What's your opinion? It indeed is a problem. Like for the electric cars, you actually need certain rare minerals that are actually taken from developing African countries through mining. And so this battery produced by it is, they don't know how to, let's say, put it into a waste because it produces, yeah, as you said, certain substances. And well, there are different arguments. So the best way is actually to switch to bicycles. I think in Tashkent it's very difficult to switch to bicycles because of having like very dangerous roads. Uh, but yes, maybe we should like demand from our like lawmakers that they improve the road system in general, because like in some of the cities or countries, bicycles are like a main transportation means, and there are also some part of the cities, like in also in Germany, that is not, the cars are not allowed to have, like let's say you have a mahalla, yeah, and then there's no cars allowed to have. So people don't use their cars. They have like somewhere two, three cars that many people share together for like doing big shopping or something else. But they basically have more like bicycles or walking And yeah, and some people say about electric cars, well, what can we do? It's more sustainable than rather than producing like CO2. And yeah, so this is a still like a discussion that is going on. But yeah, I would say switch to the bicycles.
Thank you. Dilfuza, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Dilfuza, if you maybe Nafis, if you would like to say something, we are here. Our students are very grateful for your supporting presentations. It was really interesting. We were planning to organize your presentations before how to say Ramadan. Most of the students are keeping Rosa, but they're really active and how to say creative students. Thank you so much. If further regarding the presentations, students should complete some surveys of those. You are welcome to share with us. Thank you for spending your precious time with us. Dilfuza and Nafisa, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks a lot from my side too. And if you have any questions about environmental, like climate change or other questions, feel free to contact me. I'm always happy to, what is it, to motivate or support future environmentalists in Uzbekistan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dilfuza, Nafisa. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Rahmat Taftakan. Have a good day, please. Thank
Ege
you.
rahmat.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Rahmat Taftakan.